So, Goodwood Festival of Speed 2021, and we're here with more driver interviews for you. This time we've got the one and only, the Maestro himself. And of course this year is the year of the Maestro, the year of the all-rounder. It is the one and only Chris Bowler. Chris, welcome.
Hello Diana, how are you doing?
Oh, good. Really, really good to be back. How are you feeling?
I'm over the moon, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah,
I'm glad to smell all the atmosphere and be part of it.
Absolutely. Now, it's been a bit of a run-up for you as well, hasn't it? A bit of a new rocket on the scene that you brought this year. It's
been an intention of mine to up-engine this thing, and back in February I thought, right, let's do it. And once you take something out of it, you've got to put something back again.
Yes.
And it's been a little bit hectic. Things haven't gone quite as well as I'd hoped, but we're engine's in.
It's big.
It's done about 2 miles up and down the drive.
Yes. Now, is it out of a Camaro, I think?
It's a 6.2 LS3 out of a Camaro with its gearbox.
Just the sound of it.
It's an absolute psychopath, and I've only driven it about 2 miles.
This is going to be really interesting.
It is.
Now, Goodwood, as I said, 2021, it is the year of the Maestro, the year of the all-rounder. I think there's nobody fits that bill better than you. You really are the ultimate all-rounder. Not only have you driven pretty much everything from tanks all the way through, right down to bikes, the whole lot. But you've also competed in pretty much every style of competition, from trials right the way through challenge, comp safaris, team recovery. My favourite of all. I love
absolutely.
team recovery. And you really have competed in all of them very, very successfully. What is it for you that is the draw of off-road motorsport? What gives you that buzz?
It's a difficult thing to describe when you ask it directly, but when you're sat in the car, it's you against a piece of ground.
Absolutely.
And you either, I can't drive it, or, well, let's give it a go. And it doesn't matter what the piece of ground is, whether it be a race course, whether it be a trial section, or whether it be the ability to get you and your teammate through a team recovery. It's just that this is the tool I'm going to use to get me there, and I've got to get there. And I suppose, in a way, part of the draw for me has been because of the military, where you look at a piece of ground in a completely different way. But I mean, I've always been into, that off-road buzz, and it's just get me and my piece of equipment over where I need to get to as quick as I can.
A few years ago, of course, Richard Crosland brought the now world famous global institute that is Ultra 4 over to Britain and Europe. So we've got Ultra 4 Europe, and I think the first event he said to you, "Come on, Chris, give us a hand. Can you just help us lay out a course here?" It's kind of escalated from there, really, isn't it?
It has, and again with Ultra 4, the concept was very much combining a trials vehicle, obviously an American speaker rock climber, with a desert racer, and they've now managed to encourage people to build a vehicle that is so capable at opposite ends of the extreme that it's become a type of motorsport in its own right.
Absolutely, and this is the thing, it's changing. We're getting different formats, different disciplines, different platforms for off-road motorsport. It's great. It's really great, and that's why Goodwood is such a good stage for it, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the other nice thing to see is the fact that, yes, we've got the Ultra 4 style of vehicle with the bigger wheels and the bigger engines and the more aggressive stance, winches and all the rest of it, but we're now parking them next to a range of vehicles that are a completely different animal, but technically capable of doing very similar things. All right, not quite the aggressive terrain, but it's they're racing off-road, and it's nice to be able to mix the two together.
And that leads us right to the shootout, doesn't it?
This is it. This is it.
Nicely.
I didn't put a big engine just for the shootout, I hasten to add.
But the gauntlet is down. We've had Rob Butler, we've had Justin Birchall, Andy DiGiulio, and so far the comps, I think, are in the lead compared to the extreme cars. So what do you think this year? And what do you think, what would you say would give you the edge for the shootout this year? Is there anything you've got up your sleeve?
Well, I've got a plus and a minus. I've got a minus in the fact that I'm learning a car from scratch, and it is a completely different car. But I'd like to think that my plus is that is actually quite a light car.
Yes.
I mean, fully suited with 2 people in it.
Power.
Everything is 1,800 kilos. So it's a lighter car.
Yeah.
It's lower to the ground. If I can learn how to drive it between now and Sunday morning, we'll see what happens on Sunday morning.
It's going to be absolutely brilliant. But again, as I say, Chris, so good to be back for 2021. And King of Britain coming up very shortly.
Yes, I was on the emails to Greg only yesterday.
Yeah.
I've got my final recce on the 13th of July.
Yeah.
And then obviously we're combining 7 classes in this event, and we're hoping to run the Comp Safari class as its own course, alongside the main course, obviously where it needs to come in and out and so on. So yeah, there's plenty to be done there. Plenty to be done.
Off-road motorsport, absolutely flying high.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thanks to people like you, Chris Follett. Thank you so very much indeed.
Thank you. No
See
worries.
you out there.
That's it. Good.
Ultra 107. He says if you're going to do something, make it the best you can, and he certainly will do this. Lights due, Chris Bowler takes to the
Yeah, annoying. This thing
It's a beautifully running engine. It's the first time out for Chris with that engine in the car, so he's getting used to the power, and he's got loads of bottom end torque, really taking him through the corners in a fairly high gear and power his way out without being too fussy on the gear changing.
Very fidgety as well. He said it is quite fidgety. We've been celebrating the year of the Maestro here. Year of the Maestro, the great all-rounder, sums up Chris Bowler absolutely brilliant vehicle designer, brilliant engineer, brilliant mechanic, brilliant course designer, and a superb driver, multi-disciplined driver, and brilliant at what he does. And when he says if you're going to do something, do it the best you can, he absolutely does every single time. That's why he is the sought-after course designer in Europe. Danny, that first one, see if he's going to pick up any power.
he brakes where we both fifth gear.
The leap. Like, you can see him fighting that steering all the way down through there.
Yeah, it's, with the new engine in, it's a different weight balance on that car than previously, so he's still working on optimising the steering and suspension setup in the car, so it's a bit twitchy, so he has to work hard on the steering to keep it in a straight line.
Just bring it round now. Spike. Fires it, shoots it, gets a lovely, nice, tidy landing.
He's definitely working that steering really hard.
Hard, isn't it? Well, he's going out there, he's giving it a shot, as I say, getting used to this car, still bedding it in as well. So coming up, flying through now, over that cross line, gets the checkered flag, and it's 2:35 for Chris on that run.
On the LCR chassis here in the UK, operating out of Mansfield. They are the go-to people for LCRs. This with a Honda engine from Maria Costello on
This thing
It's a beautifully running engine. It's the first time out for Chris with that engine.